Today we're going to run through the process of making a yeast starter for the purpose of taking some clean harvests of yeast that you can use, later on down the line, save some money. So what you'll need is some DME, a pot to boil in, a flask, yeast, and a scale to weigh it all out. You won't actually need the mason jars today, but you will need 3 sanitized jars to fill in about a day and a half when we package the yeast. So go ahead and fill your pot with about 1,400 milliliters of water, and then turn your stove on, heat it up. This is a good time, if you haven't already removed your yeast from the fridge, to take it out, let it sit on the counter, and warm up to room temp. While your water is heating up, go ahead and measure out about 140 grams of DME. This will give you the desired OG for your wort starter. I use the ratio 1 gram of DME for every 10 milliliters of water. So if you're using 1,400 milliliters of water to create the starter, 140 grams of DME. Once your water comes to a boil, go ahead and cut it off for a minute before you add the DME. Stir in the DME, make sure you break up all the chunks, and then turn the heat back on to boil. You can boil this for about 7 minutes. While you're doing that, this is a good time to sanitize your flask and your funnel, getting ready for the transfer. Transfer the wort to your flask. I usually use a cold water bath. Lightly put a thing of aluminum foil on the top just to prevent anything from getting in, but this generally takes a half an hour. I don't use ice, I'm lazy. So now you just sit back and let it chill. Next thing we want to do is pitch the yeast, sanitize your funnel and yeast packet with Star San, and dump it in. Place your sanitized stir bar into the flask if you're using a stir plate, and go ahead and cover it. I use sanitized aluminum foil. You can also use a stopper and an airlock. If you're using a stir plate, go ahead and start it. This is my homemade stir plate. I think it cost me $30 to build. Turn it on, and I'll see you in about 36 hours. Alright, welcome back. Let's get this guy ready for packaging. Alright, first thing we're going to want to do is take a magnet and collect that stir bar if you use the stir plate and stir bar. You don't want to pour it into the mason jar and then have to collect it after. So, we'll just give it a whirl. Pour equal amounts into the 3 jars, and then top it off with whatever's remaining. I mentioned it at the beginning of the video, but I left this step out. You're going to want to sanitize these jars and lids either in sanitizer or by boiling them for a few minutes. I choose to boil them. Sometimes I sanitize them. I haven't really found that it makes a difference. So before you dump any of the yeast that you've made with the starter into these mason jars, be sure to sanitize them. Now we'll want to put the lids on the jars. Make sure you don't get your hands all over them. You want to keep them as sanitized as possible. And there we have it. 3 sanitized jars of yeast that you can throw in your fridge and use for future batches. I label and date all of my jars, and when I'm ready to use them, I'll take them out a couple days before I'm ready to brew. I'll make a starter, and have it ready to go by brew day. I'm sure there are a lot of factors as to how long you can keep these jars of yeast and the viability of them. I've used harvested jars that have been over a year old without issue just by creating a starter. So try your luck and, relax, don't worry, have a home brew.